Spouses who married the cool girl/boy from your high school. What are they like now? My mom was the elite Atlanta debutante and lived a very cushy life at a budding Miami country club. Beautiful and very popular at the private school. My dad grew up on a farm in Virginia. They weren't poor, but they were definitely not refined. Eventually my father's family made it down to Miami after selling the farm. He became the lifeguard at the country club pool where my mom spent days lounging about. My parents say they saw each other and that was it. The scandal was great, the debutante and the lowly lifeguard. They just celebrated 54 years of marriage. My lowly lifeguard father made quite the life for my mom regardless of what all those elite twats said was going to happen. She gladly left the country club life for him and they are still so utterly in love it's crazy. He carries a photo of her at the pool where they met. The only references she makes to being that girl are that they proved everyone wrong. They are beautiful and I love their story. Did your maternal grandparents disapprove of him? Or did they embrace your dad? Was it one of those challenges your parents had to deal with? They very much disapproved. My grandmother was not a nice person. And my mother's older sister was the most vocal about how her life would turn out. But after seeing how hard my father worked and how he treated my mom, her parents came around. My father was very successful and they live a comfortable life. My mom's life turned out far better than her sister's. I've never been close to my aunt. She reminds me of the wicked stepsisters in Cinderella. Not me, but my mom married my dad who was hot speep. They met in college when he was an absolute hellion. But since then he became a doctor. Still a really fun dude. He's also a licensed contractor, so when he was bored he built a 6,000 square foot barn in our backyard over 10 years completely on his own. Absolutely stand up dude. I married the cool, outgoing, outdoorsy, sporty high school jock. Turns out he's secretly as geeky and introverted as I am. He's still the same person 25 years later. I married the cool girl. Super athletic. Everyone was her friend. We started dating in high school. She's kept up everything people loved about her. Nowadays she isn't as interested in other people. And focuses on herself. Her career. Us and our future. We're planning to buy a house and have kids soon. I'm the breadwinner today, but I'm not so sure if that'll be true in a few years, lol. As it turned out, I married one of the mean girls. Didn't go to her school. Didn't find out she was considered that till after the divorce. That's how it turned out. Then I dated one of the cool chicks. Did go to her school. Did know she was considered that. And she was the most amazing human being I've ever known. That one didn't work out either. Now I'm just retired from relationships for a bit. Strike 3 would kill me right now. Thanks all. This was very therapeutic. I have friends and family that are awesome. Hopefully I'll have more someday. For now it's me and my kids I'm focusing on. I like the whole 2 swings and yours speeds up the game. I'm the opposite of this question. I totally peaked in high school. Was cheerleading captain. Valedictorian. Prom queen. Super involved and outgoing. Now I'm fat and very unnoticeable. Not pretty and maybe not ugly, just bland. And incredibly shy and reserved. Don't really have many/any friends. But married my high school sweetheart. Who was quiet and mostly flew under the radar, and now he is outgoing. Successful. And more handsome by the year. I'd choose happily married to a good person over prom queen any day of the week. I'm an introvert and he's an extrovert. I never knew what to say to him in high school because he was so cool and funny. He intimidated me. Now our differences complement each other, I think, and we're very happy. Very sweet. How did you finally make a connection? She took off her glasses and shook out her hair. Then she was suddenly incredibly hot. My mom was the cool girl all through high school, undergrad, grad school. But life didn't go that well. For most of her life, she had to be caring for someone in the family who was ill. And that took a huge toll on her. First it was her dad. Then it was me. I had childhood illnesses. Then her in-laws in quick succession. Then her dad again. And finally she had to nurse my dad until he passed away from a terminal illness. She was meant to be social and have fun. And instead she was forced to be around sickness and sadness for her best years. But she is a very happy and mentally strong person in general who made the best of things. She hosted a lot of people and events. My house growing up was full of people visiting and having fun. She's very charming and easy to talk to. And has a lot of fans all the time. Though my siblings and I find her social side rather annoying. She isn't like that with us. And she tells us her charming side is just an act. And the real her is the lady who is constantly critical of us for our own good. She likes having groupies hanging around. People who are happy to take her help and be grateful to her. She has very few friends who could be considered her equals. She also expects a lot from other people and is constantly disappointed. She wants to be the center of everything. She doesn't know to be a guest at anything. She somehow ends up running every event she's invited to. She sincerely believes she's helping. But it's just disrespectful sometimes, and when we tell her that, she doesn't get it. She likes to dominate everything and make decisions for everyone. We joke that if the Prime Minister was her friend, she'd somehow end up running the country for him. My high school friend was the cool guy. Everyone liked him. Guys and girls. He never got into fights. Was always instantly invited everywhere and girls totally swooned over him. He's still the same awesome dude. Hasn't changed a bit. He married an incredibly hot nurse. Wholesome. Fell in love after we met couple of years after graduation. She used to be the cool girl and I was the quiet introvert. Found out apart from being cool, she was also a very loving person. Married her. She gave meaning and purpose to my life. I can get through life only with her beside me. She is still as cool and as hot-headed as she was. Quick to battle anyone and everyone, if she thinks they are wrong, to my dismay. My sister married the prom king / starting running back from her high school. He got fat, but also is a nice dude who makes a killing running some kind of raw materials company. Doesn't talk about the past at all. My mum was the nerdy girl who got all the A's and had zero social skills. And somehow managed to start dating my dad, who was the popular, good-looking guy who everyone thought would peak in high school. She was actually advised by her family and friends that he wouldn't give her the future she was hoping for. They got married at 19. Had me when they were 20. And while they were pretty broke the first few years of my life, he paid for my mum to attend law school. Started his own business, and 25 years later with 3 kids, they're still so in love and have a pretty cushy life. My dad actually met one of the loud voices who told my mum she was making a big mistake marrying him. And she had said how she always knew he would turn out well. Which he found hilarious. My dad was crazy popular. Prom king. Salutatorian. Running back. Serious ladies man. He met my mom in a nursing class in college which he took to meet girls lecture course, and he was the only guy in a sea of women. This was the 70s. They married. He became a car salesman. Developed a terrible drug habit and died of a heart attack at 52 undefined. Edit 2. Thank you all for the kind words and interesting replies. Also, my first awards on Reddit would be from a random insomniac post. I was only around for the back half, but I can tell you my father was magnetic. Even in his later crispy drug-addled years, he was still drawing people into his orbit with his awesome personality. Just flew too close to the sun, and then after years of therapy I could post about it at 3 AM on Reddit, lol. Found out recently 30M that my dad was extremely popular in high school from my aunt. I had no idea he was an all-star football player with lots of college offers and was prom and homecoming king. Never talks about it. But he's doing well. 2 kids. A dog. And a loving wife. Imo, he's still winning. The dog got mentioned before the loving wife, lol. My dad always kept pictures of his dogs in his wallet. Didn't leave much room for pics of my mom. My wife was the hot girl that everyone gossiped about. She's still super hot, but is such a wonderful, supportive, loving person. It makes me sad no one took the time to get to really know her when she was young. Hey buddy. You did. That's all that matters. My brother was one of the hottest guys in high school and went on to be a model. He's still cool and hot to many, but now he's a bit fat. He's my brother, so EO won the hot part in my opinion. But women still swoon, and he's so obnoxious. Think Matt Dillon. Etc. Era. He got dumped by his model 17 years younger wife for a 26-year-old. He has impossible standards and it's making him miserable. He's into these flashy, shallow women. Overall, he's doing really well and his business is thriving. Mom was the cool girl. Still is. Still literally gets stopped by strangers talking about how cool / pretty / whatever she looks / acts. But divorced husband cheated and widowed second husband died. So never really managed to get a happily ever after in romance. I've only seen her as a grown-up, of course. But going by pictures what I remember as a kid, she hasn't changed all that much. I think sometimes she's too used to people being in her orbit and will get sad if something happens where she's not involved. Not overtly so. But you can see she's expecting everyone to always want her there. Do we have the same mom, LMAO? I married one of our high school sweethearts. We started dating there in the late 70s. A girl everyone loved. Long straight hair down to her rear end. Smiled all the time. Always in the beauty contestant shows and always generous and friendly. Fast forward to now and she is still good looking and does not look her age of 60. Great mother and grandmother and still as good a person now as she was when I met her in 77. My brother married the popular girl. She was homecoming queen. Prom queen. On varsity teams. In band. An honor roll student. Beautiful. And super nice. 17-ish years and 2 kids later. She is still a sweetheart. Beautiful. And athletic. Look at your brother. Did he have glasses in school but took them off at a pivotal point while he was helping her studying for the big test, and they kissed, but she went to prom with Steve the prom king anyway, but during the dance she left Steve and saved your brother from Steve and his gang who bullied your brother since he had new clothes and no glasses at the prom? Did that happen? I told my wife there is a question on r/AskReddit she can actually respond to. I think I broke her because she hasn't stopped laughing. Best response on here.